Guys, we're talking about buffets today, and gotta say, we hate them. Thankfully, we are all on the same page here. If you like them, get out!
They're still redeeming qualities, but I have come to hate them over the many years of abuse.
Abuse? Which one hit you?
Yeah, who hurt?
Who hurt me? It's just every single holiday or birthday or anything my parents could use as an excuse to go to an all-you-can-eat buffet as a celebratory means. That has been my life. So I have gone to countless buffets. We've scoured the area for the best ones, honestly, and it's no matter how good the buffet is, you're always gonna leave with either, feeling bad because you spent too much or feeling bad because you ate too much.
Really?
Wow, way to take my whole point, Michael.
Well, please,
No, I feel like
repackage that.
Shut up.
No, Alex.
I feel like spending too much is almost never the problem with buffets because you almost always eat your worth. Like you always eat your value's worth.
Oh.
Like even for some of the more expensive ones, like maybe like a $20 buffet. If you kind of compare the amount of food you get at a restaurant setting, you're probably gonna get $20 worth. Like most of the time.
There's no way they can stay in any buffet would be able to stay in business if just generally everyone was eating their money's worth. Right? No way that's going to be profitable.
At least a fair trade. Like what you would pay for a regular meal is still profitable to any other business. It's just you're getting that money's worth, as in you're paying a fair amount for the money or for the food you ate. That's what I think I would say.
Yeah,
I mean that's if you are still going for those higher ticket items and you don't. I mean, honestly, I don't always reach for those because that's not.
Yeah.
Every time I go to a buffet, I'm not in the right headspace for eating gourmet. When I think buffet, I'm grossed out and I really don't want to eat too much, and then I just go for the things.
Yeah.
Just the easier things.
The cleanest of things. Like it came out most recently and hasn't been sitting there accumulating bacteria. Like those are easily the best ones there.
Right.
Like for me, I won't ever go to a buffet just out of the blue. Like there are certain buffets I would go to in Folsom or something when I'm in the area, but I hardly go over there.
Right.
I think it's for one random Indian food buffet. That's the only one where I would probably go.
Oh, You know what? That does throw in a wrench because there is this nice Indian place near us, and I think we all went, and they do a buffet for lunch and every Tuesday for dinner. I love it. That one's pretty good.
I do recall going to an Indian buffet out in that area, and it was really good. I actually took my parents to that one because they're buffet crazy. So I'm like, well, I'll take them to this one.
Buffet.
The only problem I had was that I didn't realize when I decided that a lot of the curries that they had were gonna have milk. So my choices were very limited, but the rest of my family had a good time.
Yeah, literally butter chicken. Oh man, I wonder what's in this one. It's such a dirty surprise.
And yet Michael still eats it sometimes.
Oh boy.
No joke, it's probably worth the pain if you go to a good enough restaurant. Yeah. So I guess that's a very distinct
Okay, let's play comparative then, because there's the Indian all-you-can-eat buffets, but then there's also the Golden Corrals and then the Chinese all-you-can-eat buffets. How often do you guys go to the Golden Corrals? Because honestly, that's where my dad wants to go to most because it has the most variety in food types, but it's the one I like to go to the least for a variety of reasons, but I'll get to that after you guys.
I've been there maybe twice.
Yeah.
There is another type of buffet that we haven't quite thrown in there. Pizza buffets.
Oh yeah, I never think of that because once I went lactose intolerant, our family could never go there anymore.
I mean, you didn't go lactose intolerant. You just are lactose
Like
intolerant.
it developed very quickly in my high school years. Like
Right.
I took a month off of milk and I could never go back after that. Like my intolerance level
Oh
just
no.
went through the roof.
Yeah.
So
Pizza buffets tend to be good, but like only for like the pizzas that actually get eaten, because they're constantly getting refreshed and they're like of decent enough quality. For the
Have
stuff that
you
just like stays there, like it's just too cold. Like
have you
that's like the
been
issue I have with them.
to a round tables pizza buffet recently?
No, I have not.
you know
Those
what? It's
are pretty good.
funny. I have actually gone to many of those in during my time being lactose intolerant simply because it comes with a really bomb salad buffet.
Right. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they have so many different toppings that it is worth the price just for the salads.
Yeah.
And that's what
Right.
I go
Right.
get.
Right. Yeah, and like I did not realize how good of an experience it was until like we were gonna go. My family was gonna go to this place called Meat and Eat in the area we live in, and it's like this really nice
I like
place.
I like the sound of that. Meat and
Yeah,
eat.
it's
That's
great.
great.
You should go. But yeah, we were planning on going there because it was my brother's birthday recently, and we were gonna celebrate it. And they're like, "Hey, we woke up kind of late. Did you guys just want to meet at round tables?" And we were like, "Yeah, right. I mean, we're much more focused on hanging out with you guys than we are about, you
Yeah.
know." We get there. They refresh the pizzas a lot. It's pretty fairly priced for a
Yeah.
buffet.
It's actually a really
Um,
good price.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like they gave us this really nice table. It's a good time. It's like genuinely one of the better buffets that I've gone to. And you cannot beat their twisty sticks with the
I
The
knew you were
garlic
gonna
that
say
knots.
that. I
not
no,
the
they
not
weren't
the garlic,
garlic. It's the cinnamon ones,
the
right?
cinnamon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're
Ooh, Alex just got turned.
I I I know that I can't eat those, but I've even just had a small piece because they're good.
I'm sure.
Just
Yeah.
go in and just sniff them all.
Yeah, just vicariously.
You
Smells
would have
great.
effectively eaten them because afterwards they would have to throw them away.
What? They have been used, consumed.
Literally
Yeah, you
all
pull
the
them off,
flavors in
you
your
pull
nose.
one by one. Oh,
No. Oh, jeez. Visceral.
yeah.
Okay, well, what about, so you've only been to a Golden Corral a couple of times, but what about you, Alex? Have you done the Golden
I
Corral?
have, yeah, I've gone to a couple of Golden Corrals. Like usually when we like take younger family members, like
Yeah,
those are the
the really picky types can actually eat stuff at Golden Corral
yeah,
because
like
they've
little
got,
kids can just like
yep,
eat all the junk food there ever,
pretty
and then there's
much.
just like 50 desserts, so they're always happy.
Yeah,
Like when we're taking my cousins there like all the time. And then like occasionally my family and I go out to one of the casinos and they have a pretty bomb buffet. It's not like super high end, but it's like typically like much higher quality than like the
yeah, they,
typical hometown buffet or
hmm
whatever.
hmm
Is you know that buffet has to be good enough to like draw you in and then like
Also, they
baby
rack
gamble
they
afterwards.
usually rake up the price at those kinds of like casino type buffets. So you
Yeah.
get higher quality. Usually it's the quantity over quality type or thing that a buffet, advertises, but with those like higher end ones in casinos and stuff, they typically have a little bit higher quality for the food. At least that's my impression, but I've only done that once, and that was at BLFC, and that was a $30 buffet, and I've never made such a big mistake like that with food in my
You
life.
know, I have not been. I think maybe once when I was a kid have I been to like a casino buffet, but the thing that I sort of, well, like vaguely equate it to is like a Korean barbecue, which is like in the same vein for me as a buffet. Like
Okay.
because you get it's all you can eat, and all you
Yeah.
can eat is the problem. You
Mm-hmm.
get the food, and like you have to cook it. That's fine,
Yeah.
but it's really good. But you have to stuff yourself with it, and it makes you not like that really good stuff. You know what I mean? Because you got to keep going. And on top of that, like they implement the hey, if you don't finish this stuff, you're getting
Oh
charged extra.
yeah, you get
So
charged like for the Korean places especially.
right, exactly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I have
you are
it,
penalized.
it didn't even cross my mind, honestly, because I have them in such different associations that Korean
Mhm.
barbecue would be technically an all-you-can-eat buffet because I tend to value those much higher in my mind.
That's why they charge much more.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Shoot.
Man, I have actually gone to one of those. I should probably make put that on my to-do list.
Seriously,
If
like
you want, yeah,
it's an experience. I think it's worth doing. I recently went
everyone
to
wants.
at
Like
least once, yeah.
there's something about like going with your friends and then cooking the meat together and eating it. But man, it's expensive.
It
You're
is.
full afterwards, and
It's
like uncomfortably full afterwards. I, I don't know, man.
it's really good food though.
It
Yeah.
That's
is
the
genuinely.
mm.
Well, I will. I have not been to a bad one yet, though I have not been to many.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah,
Yeah, we've
I've done it.
gone. I've gone to the local one a few times, and
Yeah,
like maybe one out where I used to live for school.
that's about the same ratio as me. I think I've done it about 4 times total.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go often because I don't like all you can eat, just in general.
It,
Oh, just speaking of like that, kind of brings it back to like the whole hometown buffet and
yeah,
other stuff.
Oh, rip.
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Never been.
Sizzler is also like an all-you-can-eat type of buffet place,
Really?
Yeah.
and I feel like they have like a somewhat smaller menu than other places, and just lets the quality be like a slight bit higher. Like Golden Corral and like Hometown Buffet, like just like notoriously had like
Yeah.
a bunch of random shit that just didn't need to be there. And like definitely
Absolutely.
tank the quality of their other
It
foods.
really does. I completely agree. Like that is why in my opinion Golden Corral is the last place I want to go to buffet wise. And that's, okay, there's the food consideration, there's the price consideration, but honestly, it's the demographic. It's the people who show up. I'm not gonna lie. Like it is absolutely the worst of any food place you could imagine going to one of those places. They are the rudest people. I don't
Yeah,
even want
the
to. I don't
Walmart
want
of restaurants.
like you've got the screaming children running around like you almost run into them when you're walking around with your food plate all the time. It is I hate going there. I really do.
Okay, and this is like a personal anecdote of mine, but like every time I go to one of those buffets, one of the beverage machines never works. Like,
Have they made the jump to the mixable fountain machines rather than the press button ones? No,
No, at
that
typically
least
no.
sucks.
Golden Corral definitely not. Because they have their soda machines are behind the counter, so the servers do it, and it's the
Right.
same with Chinese buffets. They have the servers give you refills.
I'm
So
sure.
I haven't gone to a buffet where they've had those machines yet, to be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes they have like the icy machines, or they have some like random fancy like
Hmm.
other
Okay,
beverage machine.
question. That reminds me. What do you guys do? Because my mom is notorious for smuggling ice cream out of golden buffets. Not that it like you just get the ice
Gold
cream
buffet.
cone, and so what are they gonna do? Tell you to throw it away before you walk out?
I
Have
guess
you
not.
guys done that? Like where
No,
no,
No.
not a.
my
I
mom
had
will
not had that
100
hurt.
if there's an ice cream machine, she will get ice cream and take that on the way.
That would
I-
literally be the last thing I would take from there.
Yeah. Also, I have two things stemming off from that. One, the nastiest shit you can find at a at any buffet is the chocolate fountain. Why would you want to dip in to that recycled chocolate?
Oh, that's not the ice cream machine though. She doesn't like use.
No, I know.
Okay,
I
yeah,
understand.
no,
That
okay,
just it
yeah.
reminded me of
The
that.
Golden Corrals have those,
Yeah.
and it's that
Disgusting.
is
Absolutely atrocious.
that
I've
is
seen
the
some videos though, of, like some kids like putting their mouths against
oh
the ice cream
no.
machine to suck.
I thought you were gonna say putting their face in the chocolate fountain or something like the fat kid from Willy Wonka or.
I mean, you kind of expect that to happen, but you don't expect it to just like direct.
But the second point off of that was in terms of like grabbing things at the end, like our when I went to school, when I was like dorming, we had I guess dining commons that was essentially a buffet. You swipe your ticket, you get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the end, like as you're leaving, they'd always have like some fruits that you could take. And for some reason, all of us would grab bananas and like in the dorms hide them in each other's rooms.
What?
So, like maybe a week or so later, when someone's doing laundry, they'll just find a banana. Or like when they put a jacket on, oh shoot, it's
Oh my
Put on their
god.
pants. Oh man.
but like one of the first things that we saw smuggled was like early in the year because it was at the beginning of it. Oh, it's a buffet. We got to take as much as we can, but like we go there every day anyway.
Yeah.
That hadn't set in yet, so someone brought a Tupperware full of chicken nugs and
What?
brought it to their room, and it stayed in their mini fridge for I'd say an entire quarter, and then that one roommate out of that room left. The other one saw it in the back of the fridge and was like, "Oh, absolutely not." So he put it on his friend's desk, and when he came back, it was liquid.
Oh my gosh. Who smuggles that many? How do you even?
Okay, out of all the things to smuggle out of there, chicken nuggets are an acceptable item. Just because
They're not
like
that. They were honestly not that good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine that like a school cafeteria level chicken McNugget type thing. McNugget.
And those were not good smuggle material. What we did have there,
like
and
they're
I
easier
think
to
this-
smuggle because they're like fried or whatever, and you can kind of like put them in a bag and put them in Tupperware, and they're
and then you can drink it later when the quarter's over.
yeah, really easy cleanup.
Oh.
What I used like the one thing that I used to smuggle out of there the most was like late night. They'd make fresh, hot cookies. And we just keep on hoarding them because like there's a very limited supply, and like usually there's like a huge line, and if they run out and it's like a huge line, everyone just kind of disperses and just kind of waits for them to start putting them back in. And if nobody notices, boom, you get free access to like 10 servings of cookies, and you just kind of just like hoard them all at your table
Oh
and give
my
them to like everyone else there. Make sure
Hell
everyone
yeah.
gets their cookies, and just kind of like shelve the extras for like later,
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
Um, Alex, did you have and this might branch off into another like buffet aspect, but like did you have a Mongolian
Yep.
yeah?
A wok thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Mongolian, I don't know what like stir fry noodle thing.
Yep. Just pick your
that's-
noodles, pick your toppings, pick your sauce.
Those usually turn out good.
The easiest thing to get right at a buffet is that.
Yeah.
I have not
Absolutely.
seen that wrong or done
Absolutely.
wrong.
The only way that it's done wrong is if you're incompetent and you don't know how to like get the sauce measurements right. You know, because
Yeah, if
sometimes,
it's wrong, it's your fault.
yeah, it's absolutely your fault if it's
Yeah.
wrong.
That
So,
and if the line is too long, just because they try to like push the noodles out a little bit earlier, and if they're like the tiniest bit cold, it can really just like
I can
it
see
can
that.
really hamper the flavor
Sure.
because yeah,
The
and that's
experience.
about the only thing.
Mhm.
Right.
That does remind me of another thing, and it was because it was the biggest mistake I ever made at a buffet, which was that $30 one at the casino. They had a pho station where they were making pho and the broth and the new like they had the broth that they would like boil it and like they combined it and boiled it in front of you. And
Right.
it looked really cool. It was elaborate. It was like you had to actually buy these machines to like do all this. And
Right.
so you thought, "Oh, this must actually be halfway decent." But that was the blandest pho I had ever tasted in my life.
That
It was like I always in my experiences at buffets, I always want to finish what's on my plate. Like I want like if I'm gonna get stuff, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to be wasteful.
right.
That was one of the times where it was like I paid $30 for this meal. I am not filling my stomach with this shit.
Just
I
hot water.
it's
Just hot
literally
water
hot
and
water.
stuff in it.
I was like, I'm not doing it. I wasted whatever the heck that was, and I went straight for the bacon, and I just got a plate full of bacon, and that was the rest of my meal.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
That does not surprise me, mostly because like it's honestly it's really hard imagining like a manufacturing version or like a conveyor belt version of pho.
Hmm.
Because I used to have Vietnamese neighbors and we'd go over there for pho every now and again. And their mom would spend like the entire day cooking the broth.
Yep.
That's just not something that happens instantaneously.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Never making that mistake again.
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. But like I feel like a lot of buffets have like those duds, but they always have like something that's at least like decent. I guess for that one is probably the bacon, which kind of sucks because that's just like bacon's like the
It's
default
not.
thing for every
Yeah. You
breakfast
can't
buffet.
get that one wrong, and
I-
it's. Oh, have you been to breakfast buffets? That's another buffet type.
I've never only if it's at a hotel or like a timeshare or something.
Okay.
That's really it. And
Those
those
are
are
pretty.
genuine, like they're free, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's
They're
the thing
good.
about those.
Yeah.
Those are free, so you
Like,
can't really complain.
and the thing is, like the waffles, they have just some batter, and
Yeah.
you make it yourself. There's no way that could go wrong unless you're incompetent,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know. You have a face like something's gone wrong, Alex.
Have
No,
you
you're
been
fine.
to,
Oh,
have you
no,
been to
okay.
have you been
I used
to
to
a
work in catering, so I used to set up a bunch of breakfast
Oh.
buffets.
Nice.
So yes, at the end, I would sometimes eat some of it, but not the eggs because those fucking turned into something that wasn't eggs.
Oh, speaking of this isn't technically a breakfast buffet, but like Michael, you had treated me and another friend to Denny's
Denny's?
recently.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
mostly because initially when we were just talking about Denny's, you were like, "Ugh, Denny's," and you were trying to yuck our yum, and we thought we loved Denny's.
Was that Michael or was that Jordan? Because Jordan
That was
hates
Mike.
Denny's with a passion.
What is wrong with Jordan? Okay, whatever. But and they have this brand new thing. It's like $7 and you get like a full
Oh,
breakfast,
yeah,
eggs,
that's right.
hash brown, sausage and bacon. But for $1 more, you could get wait, and then a
And
thing of pancakes. But for $1 more, you could get unlimited pancakes. And I was like, oh man, $1 more.
you were
And
so
I
ready.
did not. I was so not ready.
You were
The
unprepared.
plate of regular breakfast was huge, and then you had the plate of pancake, and I just could not get past it. And the dude brought out, like, he saw me like sort of winding down on that thing of pancakes. He brought out a second plate, And I was like, well, this is coming home with me, and it took me 2 days to finish that.
I hate it when
Those-
stuff like that happens. Dude,
Ugh.
the one time I ordered chicken waffles from like Big Bear Diner, I was like, I got my plate. I was like, man, that's a huge plate.
Yeah, Black Bear Diner. I cannot believe it how big the proportions are there.
I was like feeling sick halfway through my freaking meal because like I was like, this is so much food. It's so good. So like I can't help but just put it in my mouth. But like it's like at a certain point it just wouldn't go down. I was like regurgitating it out. I've never had that issue in a long time.
Gosh, that reminds me of Billy and Mandy, where like
Like-
Billy's eating so much food, he opens his mouth, and you see the pile of food like in his throat, and he can't put down the chicken like the chicken. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my. Like that kind of felt like that whole buffet experience where not even a buffet experience, just like a regular restaurant experience where you want to finish your plate because you paid for it.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the
Oh.
thing. You paid for it, and you're still getting your leftovers to take home. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
But okay, for waffles, it's not nearly the same quality. Like once
Sure.
once you're
Mhm.
drenched in the syrup and butter, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean,
It's
like, oh man, I have not gone to Black Bear enough because from Calvin, I've heard so many good things about their pie. So
I haven't
Hey.
eaten the pies there myself, but their bacon is ridiculous. I recently had Black Bear, and their bacon was not like thin and kind of like, I don't know, wimpy. It was thick and huge. I could not eat all the bacon.
Yeah,
It is
but
a-
they
it was
just,
a
like, grabbed
problem.
the pig and just ripped out a piece of it.
It was like you get bacon there, you're gonna get your bacon's worth. It really is. Like usually you feel like you got to get more bacon. You never get enough.
Bacon comes out with a monocle. His name's Baconsworth.
Okay.
A little monocle, a little top hat.
That's why
Okay.
at like those buffets that are all you can eat for breakfast, they always try to like sell you on all the filling like breads and stuff because they don't the bacon's that's the expensive item. You got to fill up on all those cakes, all those hash browns, all those pancakes and stuff. That's what they try to sell you on.
Yeah,
You
but like the thing is, for bacon, I'm not even sure if I can eat that much in one sitting, just because like each bacon you have, like you can feel the heart attack coming.
You're not wrong.
Like,
You're not
Like,
wrong.
I cannot handle too much. Like I prefer as a breakfast food, I prefer sausage. Cause like
Yeah.
that still gets, if you go to a good one, that still gets that good crisp, and it's like it's hearty.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
hella juicy too.
Hell yeah, man. And like
Then you just wrap it in bacon and it goes over.
but like it's like actual meat juice and not just grease permeating throughout the whole strip and dripping.
I see.
Yeah. And like the
Interesting.
grease is just solid enough that you can feel it in your arteries.
Yeah. Another thing I really love at Denny's, they have like my favorite milkshake, and they have like a genuinely good strawberry milkshake. It tastes like there's actual strawberries in them. Like, and it's really hard for like in a milkshake for the actual strawberry flavor to like even be present, but that is the only time where I have like genuinely tasted, oh yes, strawberries are in here. And even if there are strawberry chunks in some of the things, like I can't taste it as much as I can with
It's a very rich strawberry flavor.
yeah,
As opposed to
yeah.
kind of like the shallow, like very processed ones.
So much
Yeah.
so that I feel like it's just it has to be like a fake thing because it's so genuine. You know what I mean? Like it's too good for this to be real.
Really?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I
I'm
feel
a
like
little-
there's just like so much fat content in the milkshake, And fat brings out flavor.
It does.
So like I feel like that's what's kind of like going to work there because like Denny's shakes are very, very unhealthy.
That's
As are most shakes.
They probably dump the bacon grease left over into the.
They line all the cups with it.
Yeah.
But like, that's another thing. When I had that meal, I was like, oh man, I'm getting a shake. There's no way around it. It's my favorite one. I cannot not
It
get
filled you
a
up
shake.
too, I bet.
It did. No, I drank the whole regular thing and then the leftover canister.
Yep.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that-
every single time.
It went all the way down.
Yeah, like for every buffet, I feel like recently my game plan is to just go for the best regular food there and then just splurge on all the desserts because it's like buffets are like one of the few places where you can try like a huge selection of desserts because like you can have your fried chicken, your whatever the hell they have multiple places, you probably eat it at home also.
Yeah.
It's not like it's that special of like a food, but like the random eclairs and like the
confectionaries, there's
yeah,
a good
the-
variety typically.
yeah, like I don't eat that shit all the time, and I make sure that I always scan by. I'm just like, how many of these do I want? I need to make sure I have room for all of them. And like that's something I did in college too with the dining commons.
Right.
I would always like take a glance at that because I love trying every single one of those desserts. Like I have a sweet tooth. I don't finish 80 to 90% of my desserts at college. Probably even 95. It's like that much. I just take a bite, I get the flavor, and I'm good. Like I don't want to like just eat like a bunch of desserts, like a bunch of calories.
Yeah.
But that tasted good. And I have always been called out for it every time I eat with other people. But you know what? I don't care. It's gonna be thrown away in the trash anyways. So
Yeah. That's the thing about buffets that was brought up to me in like the buffet argument. It's like the variety is what some people go for, and I totally get that.
Absolutely.
But like the thing is, to what you were saying, at least like initially going in, getting the high ticket items and then splurging on the desserts. Sometimes I'm not like feeling those high ticket items. The buffet that I went to that sparked this entire conversation, Yum Yum Buffet, they had crab. And I was like,
Yep.
man, I hate crab.
Yep.
It's food that takes too much work. I hate it.
See, that's one of
crab
the
is
things.
like easily one of my favorite foods. How dare you say that?
My grandpa would we would go to buffets and take him there just because they had crab. Like we would go specifically for the ones that had the crab because that's what my grandpa would just like munch on the whole time. He'd make a massive mess, and it actually turned me off from eating crab because it was like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to leave that behind for the poor waitress who's got to clean that up.
My dad and my uncle easily took down like 3 plates of it and then some like I forget if it was steak or like it was like a steak thing. They were pretty thin steaks obviously, but they took a bunch of those down. But like that's the thing, I wasn't I hate crab. I didn't really want to wait like in a separate other line to like, oh hey, I want a steak. I guess I'll wait for it, and then like it come to me be a huge thing, and like I gotta eat this whole thing. Like I don't know.
That's why you're there.
No, I know. That's the thing. Buffets feel like a burden anytime I'm eating it. And it makes me not like.
Well, I see where you're coming from. I think it lets you relate a little bit to me when you go to a buffet and you feel like you're not getting your money's worth in the sense that certain items are not appealing to you, and those are the money items. For me, a lot of those money items I can't even eat because they're going to be laden with something else. That just dairy or whatever the heck. If it's a Chinese buffets, I can typically like most of the stuff works for me because they don't use a lot of milk products. But when there's some of those higher, that's why I don't go to Golden Corral because unlike you, Alex, I cannot eat any of the desserts. There's like literally nothing that won't have milk in them. So
Jello.
That's true. Also, bananas with just some strawberry
I don't
sauce
know
on
where
it.
you found that, but I want to know.
Yeah.
I love bananas with just some strawberry sauce on it. I loaded up on those. And then also they had like fried plantains. Ooh. Ooh, I ate them. I ate them
Wow.
all. It was so good.
Do you ever?
Also, another thing that like places sometimes get wrong is pot stickers. And Yum Yum Buffet actually did those pretty well. Like I like them somewhere between. Well, I like them more as gyoza than I do as pot stickers. Because anytime I've had like a poor imitation of pot stickers, the innards are just not good, and then the outside is just sort of mushy. But I do like that crunch that
I do
comes
like
from
the
gyoza.
crunch. Absolutely.
Yeah, and if it's
100%.
fried, it's so much harder to mess up.
Do you
Yeah,
guys do you guys ever dare to venture into the sushi aisle of some of those Chinese
I
buffets?
I went to the sushi aisle of Yum Yum Buffet, and it was not a great selection. It was various versions of
The California roll.
rice, seaweed, crab meat, and avocado, just in different
Yeah,
orientations.
pretty much.
Different California rolls, and then like ones with raw fish on it, and I'm like, definitely not touching these.
Nope.
I'm staying
Nope.
all the way away.
No
from
thanks. I'm not gonna get that
Yeah.
food poisoning like Jordan.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like literally, like the only ones I eat are like the California like rolls, like
Pretty
something
much.
that looks safe.
Yeah.
And like they don't even have like as Corey said, there's no diversity
Yeah,
over there.
I've been to one where they've had like tempura rolls and like different good, but like those buffet selections are so few and far between.
Yeah.
And that was like such an outlier. Uh, but I'd say, when we're talking about Yum Yum Buffet, the one I went to that had those selections was like maybe just like a step or two above. It's a pretty good buffet, all things considered. Like when I
Yeah.
went there, I wasn't about it because it's just a buffet, but like having gone to Yum Yum, it's like, oh, okay, I can see that this is actually all right.
I can
You
see
know,
that this is yum yum.
this
Yeah.
is
Yeah, but like those
this
like
one's
that isn't
yum.
like that isn't like actually like a sushi buffet too. And like I haven't gone to like an actual sushi buffet.
I don't
think
think
it's
I
like
have
a
either.
different like experience because they like sushi
There's-
is like almost meant to be
Yeah,
served
it's
in
a,
like that
it's a
manner.
specialized thing, so that's probably a higher quality. I wouldn't be able to tell you either because I've never done a sushi
I
buffet.
haven't done that in a while. That is another one that I forgot about. I've gone to some okay ones. Like I think before or no, around high school graduation, I think I went to buffet, sushi buffet.
Fuji.
Fuji, yeah.
Hmm.
The one near the ghetto Walmart.
Yeah.
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 That kept getting like switched out for the longest time. First it was like a Lions, and then it was something else, and then it just became Fuji.
I
Oh,
like that was back in a time where I just never ate sushi whatsoever because just nothing that
Mhm.
I was ever interested in it. But
It's not bad. Like in that area are like two good um Japanese places.
yeah,
Like
but,
I went the one like right across from it.
yeah, I think like I just would probably go to Mikuni's or something just because it feels a little bit safer. And I've already like had some of it because of Jordan.
I do not think I've been to the that one's near the Black Bear, right?
Yes.
yep.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
I've been there once.
Yeah.
I was there when it was Island Burger.
I did not even. I don't even.
Or was
When was
Black Bear the Island Burger?
I
Black
don't
Bear
know.
was the recent installment. from my
Anyway, I
recollection.
feel like we're getting too far into
Yeah.
specifics where we live. So guys,
No, I'm not done yet.
oh,
I have one more point.
go for
Speaking
it.
of word diarrhea, every time I go to an Asian buffet, I always get diarrhea. Like, they put some special shit in their buffet items.
And
It just
you give up. You give out some special shit,
Mm.
guys.
Express
Sponsored
liquid
by
like a chicken
Express
nuggets.
VPN.
Oh boy.
But yeah, hey, this is another one of these food discussions, and this is becoming a frequent thing, and I'm not mad about it. So I'm glad you guys liked our Pringle discussion. So hey, if you like this episode, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Apparently, we're just going to be doing these. And yeah, tell us in the comments down below what you think of buffets and why you're wrong for liking them. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep juicing.
See you.
Oh, just like those nuggies.
Oh! Oh! Boy,
I almost.
I did not actually get to witness those. I only heard tale of their
Oh
existence.
boy.